Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that came out for this new series, I'm a Virgo. If you have not seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. Prior to this, I had seen the teaser, so I had an idea what the show was about, but obviously this trailer gives us more of an expansive understanding of everything. I've seen trailers for it, but I've never seen Sorry to Bother You, because the same person, Boots Riley, who did that is also doing this. I knew the show was about, hey, here's someone who is a giant. We don't know if there's going to be an explanation on why that is. I am curious how his parents were able to hide it for so long, but obviously it's almost, I think it's kind of like this almost fantastical kind of approach to kind of this, you know, coming of age story of like, hey, I've always kind of been so alone and trapped and never able to have a life, and now I'm able to go out there in the world and have fun, but also how scary that can be. I have friends, but it's like, yeah, how many people are riding with you because they really like roll with you, and how many people are just along with the ride because you're this giant kind of almost sadly kind of treated as this circus act, this kind of quote unquote freak show type of situation. And I think that distinction and growing and adapting to the circumstances is part of it, is coming of age story. But what I was also talking about is that the show does seem like it has like fantastical elements to it. There's like at one point, like there's a girl he likes, but she like works at like a restaurant or whatever. And you see at one point she's like super fast making his sandwiches, and you're like, is that because she actually legitimately has super speed, or is that just like a stylistic choice? Because once again, I've never seen Sorry to Bother You. I've heard nothing but good things, and I've like I said, I've seen the trailer a couple years back, and I really wanted to see it. I just never gotten around to it. But I know that movie has a very like neat, like stylized style to it. So it has like fantastical elements, probably not to this degree, but it's just kind of like how trippy the world can be and how it's kind of like characterized in a certain way. So that's what I'm wondering about this. Is that supposed to be like, all right, here I am making all these sandwiches for you. I am making them as fast as possible, but it's being stylized as like almost like a super speed thing, when that's not the thing at all. So I'm curious if that's going to be the case. And I mean, what really adds even more to that too is that there's also kind of a superhero in this universe, kind of played. First I was like, is that Walton Goggins? It super is. So I don't know if it's like he's a super rich guy that like has doing the superhero thing, but he's kind of fallen out of the spotlight. And so I wonder if this is going, I was about to say Megamind, but other stories have taken that element of, hey, here's a hero who turns into the villain by the end. And I'm curious if that's kind of what his story ends up being, of like, hey, maybe I was kind of like, maybe he's not even like, maybe he is kind of more like he is kind of Iron Man-esque, that he's a hero, but he's also like the real world where there are real life superheroes who fight crime and stuff, but he just happens to be super rich, so he's able to apply like and do techie stuff with his, so he's like Iron Man and Bruce Wayne in that regard. Obviously not to like the extreme levels of tech, but maybe like rich enough to kind of compensate. Maybe it's something of that nature, I don't know, but I'm curious. I mean, because it seems like he sees our main protagonist as kind of like, oh, you're a threat because you're so big. And, you know, once again, I think it is that thing of like, hey, that 15 minutes of fame, like, cool, you're something special, everyone loves you, but how quickly people can turn on you, because it's like, right, they can see you one way, and then like a narrative starts building about the character being a bad guy, and that starts growing, especially with Walton Goggins' character. Like, maybe he's like, I need a villain to fight to put me, like, whereas like our main protagonist is kind of rising in fame in a positive way, he's kind of fallen out of the public favor, and now he's trying to do whatever he can to get back in that limelight by making him the bat. You know, maybe that's kind of like the commentary they're going for their type of situation, to kind of like get back what you lost, like that you're always chasing that high of fame and prestige and love, and to basically get it back, you're willing to kind of trounce on someone else and drag them down, especially someone who's new to this world, but this world, you're new to this world as well, because now it goes both ways. This world is new and strange and weird to you, to the world you're new, weird, and strange as well. So like I said, I'm so curious how much they're going to expand into that. Once again, finding out why the main protagonist is the way he is. Why is he giant? Are there any other kids like him? Is that something, is that even a point to really dive into? I'm really interested to see what this series is. I mean, just from what I saw, for like I said, from the teaser trailer, plus with conjunction with this, just seems really interesting. Like I said, I think it's going to be a really interesting take on kind of what you would expect from like a coming of age story, with kind of its own niche, its own spin on things. And it just seemed, like I said, very like stylized and fun. But like I said, how much of that is just like fantastical like stylization, or is it just like, no, there are legitimate fantastical elements to it as well? We'll ultimately have to wait and see. But it seems really interesting. So Obviously, these are just some of my thoughts. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. What do you expect from the series? What do you want from the series? Let me know in the comments down below. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good